first time ever, from the golden sandy blankets of Portimao, Portugal, ULA and UltiTV bring you the World Beach Ultimate Club Championship 2024. The best club teams in the world will converge on the Portuguese Algarve. With expectations for upwards of 150 teams, this promises to be a tournament worth bucket listing. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed. We live in a world where everything can be referenced online. Imagine if the greatest moments in our sport were never filmed. Eurodisc continues to do what it takes to make free-to-watch live streams a reality. Let's leave nothing to the imagination. We'll consume the action live, and we'll support those that help to make it happen. If it wasn't streamed, it didn't happen. Eurodisc.
What a grab! Oh my God! Somehow they do it!
All right. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws. All right. A little something special for the WGGGMBUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the carve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool. Just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hugs they fly. My spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start. I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. Call my speed brisk. The sun, how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Can I get a rewind? Can I get a fast forward? We are live in the action here, and Sardinia, the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023, and Rundown chasing a quarter semi-finals berth on the line here against Hurt, who took that surprise loss against the Swedish, the Rainbow Warriors, in the early stages of this championship. Woo! Have they learnt their lesson? Well, that's a great grab underneath. Middleton, or Boots as he's known, now passing that one back to the 21 of Daryl Noonan. Lovely grab for Middlebrook. Sinks it through to Cashin. Watch out for a Noun and Cashin connection, but that's going to be Fur with the layout. No, Clayton Hurd even. Goodness gracious me, looking at the wrong side of my roster, getting myself confused. But that is a solid first hold for Rundown of the USA against their fellow North American counterparts. It's a US team showdown here in quarterfinals. Clayton Hurd with the grab. But looking at that one back, Grant Cashin, one of a pair of Cashins on this team. Lovely to see them back returning after enjoying this team playing back in Portimao, but a more full flush with female matching athletes. They've got 5 of them this season, by virtue, of course, of that rules change here at the Great Grandmasters level. And it's a pleasure to see so many points being played across this championship with 2 female matching athletes. But her, just the 4. Lovely deep pull fielded to Yearsley. Simonet underneath, but looked off. Oh, that's a good reach for Mark Zimmerl. But a block that's going to come back on a foul.
A fantastic cat-like reflexes out of Zimmerl, Shaggy, as he's known, and then fouled, so he'll get it back. That one gets away and hits Simonet, and then hits the ground shortly thereafter. Super short field for rundown, Annie.
Absolutely. Steph.
As short as they come.
So this for the first break of score of the game. Pletcher fakes the lefty backhand, dishes with the right. Oh, and just milking the extra inches out of that one. A nice easy goal in the end. Fraser reeling that one in. Travis Fraser, number 19 for rundown. Of course, the name change as well as the division changes here. Of course, previously man down. You'll spy a couple of jerseys, the old school variety. Of course, winning that USAU National Championship.
That'll do it. And yeah, I like the new name. They discussed that with us last time as well. A great new look. That all came from just great team defense there. Hurt in their own end. 2-3 passes. You saw even the first one from Yearsley to Zimmerl required those cat-like reflexes just to keep it alive. And everything was well pressured in the end. Wells picked up the 57-year-old from Newbury, cashed in for the goal, and a comfy 2-0 lead with 1 break after a hold.
Well, if this one goes to the chalk, then it will indeed be run down heading into semi-finals tomorrow. We'll be bringing you both of those semi-finals. We advocated for you folks to get them staggered, and that's going to be staggering into the end zone, just about keeping his feet underneath him. Jeff Simonet reels in the first goal for Hurt.
And a great score there for Hurt. Simonet turning on the Jets to catch up to that one.
Indeed, originally a Toronto man. You can see he's clearly an initiation cutter for a lot of these Hurt plays. But a great throw along the sideline. So rundown coming out on offense. Nounan has Cashin upfield. Cashin started playing this tournament with a hat, but he seems to be playing without it. I mean, it's quite cloudy at this stage in the tournament. Pops back to Nounan. Just throwing and going, happy to isolate those 2 players together. Now it's Krutzinger on the far sideline, throws an absolute peach. There's a little bit of a stumble, perhaps getting caught up in the tape, but Cao Wang with the goal.
And you can feel the energy now. These teams know they're in the brackets. Not like they were low energy before, but they're really celebrating everything. You heard the pregame talk. Everybody's in this. Every point you're contributing. And you definitely get that feeling from Rundown right now, the way they've celebrated, well, this goal in particular, but every success they've had thus far in the game to take this 3-1 lead.
Well, we mentioned it in their first live stream game way back when, but Hurt are suspiciously not American, i.e. North American. A lot of them are Canadians.
America's hat.
Oh, I think Canada's a bit more relevant than just being a hat for the USA.
Yes, yes. Most certainly. We also have maple syrup up there. And the tragically hip, but Gord's gone. Anyways, back to the game.
So, solid hold action from rundown to start us off, and then that break gives them the early doors lead, 3-1. But Zimmerol will bring in the brick. So we get a bit of comms from Joel Yearsley. High release over to Johan Barty. That one coming through. She puts one up. Oh, that is a saucy backhand if ever there was, and it flies like a saucer too into the paws of Joel Yearsley for the hold.
Nice hold there. Yearsley generated some good space for the finish, and Hurt managing their holds now after giving up that break early. Here's another look at it.
It's a beautiful golden sand stretching out in front of us. This quarter-final stages here in Sardinia. Big shout out to Brent Russell, continuing to jump into the live chats and enjoy our coverage. Lovely to have you alongside. If you are enjoying UltiTV's coverage of this championship, feel free to get involved in that live chat as they get involved in the center of the pack. I don't think that necessarily was where Jana Krutzinger was intending to put the disc, but can Hurt take advantage and cause some pain here to get us back on serve? Thinks about that big backhand release is McConville, the captain of this side. Of course, the man probably responsible for the USA flag sat next to their name in the standings. Poppersil pops one back. Nice reacher to the far sideline, but a pick call. Naunen looks like he'll catch up. They can determine to choose regardless of when it was called, but that one will return.
Defensive pressure amped up by this O-line after giving it away. Let's see if Hurt can weather the storm and walk one in.
Lots of sideline action. Both teams trying to help each other out. Be the 8th person, especially with the defense. Popspill running out of options, just about squeezes it through the hand of the mark, but a foul called. Cao Wang accepts it. Trying to connect with Julie G.
Lucky he got away with the foul there. I don't know if the throw would have gone. Good coverage by Hurt.
Now looking for options on the goal line. That is a lot of touching between Watanabe and Naunen, and it gets blocked off in the end. Well, all that contact accepted up until the very last moment, Steph.
Yeah, until it cost a completion. I do agree, though. I mean, it's in the midst of a cut, it's tougher to call the foul.
Well, that's why contact exists.
Yeah.
But it did seem like both of them were sort of pushing and shoving for position, and it's just a straight burn lateral movement from G, and that will collect a second goal in this game for Hurt.
Watanabe doing a lot of work out there.
So third goal. That will level us up, surely.
And that makes that indeed that is a break. And it was Phil Watanabe doing a lot of work both sides of the disc. Initially on defense, throwing himself around. And on the attack, you see him putting on the finishing touches to get that goal with the push pass.
Well, and Julie G getting on the stats board. A food scientist / corporate chef He's previously represented for Courier Island. Hasn't had any Team Canada experience, but played Beach Worlds in Italy. Also the United Arab Emirates, France, Portugal, and now glad to be back in Italy. She's come full circle. But a big shout out also to Marianne Long. Played with her last season, but unfortunately couldn't get the time off from work to be here this year. Still laying out for scores at the age of 56. Big shout out from all of the Hurt crew. So Tina McDowell, low release flick, nice and silky smooth. Fur opens up a corky, screwy one that's going to be taken away by the defense. Ed Fox there to snaffle it up. Just sniffing around, waiting for opportunities. Papadimitriou thinks about the launch, but just about catches it in his left hand. Happy to take the negative yards to Fox, who puts a silky smooth backhand. Can it be run down? Just a little bit too much for Julie Belair to collect, but that was a nice throw. Perhaps a half a heartbeat later, and that would have been right on the money.
Yeah, looked good for a moment out of hand there, but a little dip in the sand there slowed down the chase, and that was enough to make that throw into a turn.
Yeah, a rare miscalculation from the actuary. But lucky break for Rundown. Certainly in the last quarterfinal, we saw a picture-perfect performance on offense from Notsuo. Looking very well tooled coming into this championship. Hurd with plenty of space upfield, but decides not to take it. That one will be, though, and is bopped away by Belair.
Yeah, great read by Julie Belair, the intended receiver. Tina McDowell turned upfield without eyes on that disc, and would have been a turnover any which way, but Belair making sure of it, getting a hand to it, and slapping it out of bounds.
So a second opportunity for the break here. Last time it was just a clean one. Only the single turnover required to deliver the punishment. Scott Belair receives from his partner and then shoots into the end zone. A beautiful cut for Alexi Papadimitriou. And that will be another break. That's 3 on the bounce for her. Causing some pain against Rundown here.
A lead taker, 3 on the bounce. This is getting interesting early. Hurt finding some form after giving away an early break. A little bit sloppy off the top, but now bringing things together there. Beautiful finishing throw here. Belair to Belair. The Fresh Prince puts one up, and Papadimitriou comes down with that one.
Well, Hurt, Simonet saying that they have another level. Let's turn it up even more. But we just want some tight games. It's been probably fair to say that there have been some differences in the score lines here at this World Great Grandmasters Ultimate Championships. Of course, for some of the teams, it's just a delight to be here and have herded the cats towards Sardinia. But some players, of course, missing out on Portimao last season, made that extra effort. Krutzinger looking around at the wrong moment for the cut from Naunam. There's a foul call off the disc.
Naunan and Watanabe again, they were down each other's throats on the last point. They were out and straight back at it, playing a physical game with one another.
So much touching. Of course, Ultimate is a non-contact sport, but will be played to the highest acceptable level of contact on the pitch. And it is difficult to keep away from each other, the sand magnetising the athletes on the pitch. Of course, it's very difficult to stay still, but that's a stone-cold hand block for Ryan Knowles. Well, this is going to hurt if they can punch it in, and they just about grab it! What a play, Phil Watanabe! My oh my, this is not the start we expected. Rundown looking a bit run flat right now.
They are looking run down, as you could say, just the same, Hanny. Exactly as you said, not what we were expecting. hurt a class team for sure, but after suffering a loss early in this tournament, after seeing Rundown ease their way through, but nothing but wins, I talked about it earlier saying, you know, there's 3 or 4 teams that I would put in mind to have a good chance of winning a championship here. Rundown, one of those 3 most certainly. I think at the start of the weekend I may have classified Hurt the same, but, you know, seeing them take 1 loss. But, again, sometimes taking a loss in pool play is the best thing for you. There's Watanabe again, chucking himself up, firing out of the sand like a rocket, and bringing back his old glory days from playing in Toronto and bringing them to the Sardinian sands.
Well, we talked about how the fact that the Spangled and Young Legends was a rematch in quarterfinals of the final from last season, as we see Jamie Cashin doing damage in the downfield space, just ripping up yards. Waiting a long time, but eventually the upline cut streaks through and is delivered. There's a little bit of a chat about it. Perhaps some calls being made here, but certainly Peter Wells is not going to put the disc down in a hurry.
We may well get another look at this one. Here it is. Here comes Wells into the frame. Now. And that's the contact they're discussing. Papa Demetrio calls a foul. Not up to us.
They have the option to look at the tape, but they haven't chosen to on the pitch. They've talked it out, which is the correct way to do it if you can. Only players from the sideline are allowed to interject with information that is to the disadvantage of their team. And now we see a little bit of Colin Smith trying to extend the stoppage. But again, it's Wells up the line, and it's Jamie Cashin with the assist.
Cash into Wells, 2 scores, count for 1.
So nice, they had to just do it twice for us here on the live stream. That one called inbounds quite clearly by the sideline, and they will chat it through and call that one a goal. So this, to finish off my thought that I had to stop because of the amazing play from Jamie Cashin, just ripping up the field down here. But this is the rematch from the 3-4, the bronze medal match, where Hurt last season denied Rundown a place on the podium, that 3rd finish.
So they know each other well. I go back to that play there the first time of asking. You see Wells getting up second time. I will not be denied twice. But I do think Papa Demetrio called the foul. It did come back. I kind of thought Papa Demetrio was trying to step in front and got his shoulder there, that left elbow out, yeah, and then got run through. But he really widened the body first. So a tough foul call to make by my humble estimation.
Well, maybe some arm barring going on. However, it's not how it looks. It's just about how it feels to the athletes making the calls on the pitch. Our opinions matter not, Ultimate Viewing fans. Sorry to dissuade any of you. But an out-of-bounds pull will be brought in. Looks like Yearsley.
Yep, taking the long walk back to the line.
So a big poach off, almost double teaming from Russell Fur to get us going, leaving Zimmerall completely free. Risky move, bold strategy, and a bold lateral swing to Luisa Tui. Prudencio looking a bit dangerous there. Some kind of call off the disc.
Hold up.
Hey. Dangerous songs to bring on.
Yeah, those next bit of lyrics are not broadcast worthy.
Well, just not words that I can say, certainly.
Yeah,
I lack the melanin content.
Yeah, I'm not saying them either. Not for me to say. Even in song.
Yearsley looking for that reset underneath, has it. Immediately throws and exploits the break side.
And that body twisted around there.
Yeah.
Barrel.
Labong matching up against Popspill. In fact, no, that's not Popspill. That's Johan Baril. They have 2 tubes. But Shaggy pops through to Yearsley. Thinking about that inside break, but it's a lead on the blind side of the mark and a lead to the back corner. Well, the trust bombs being put up. Well, they're not really so much bombs as their timer set perfectly, just hanging these up on the breeze like some laundry that you're wanting to dry.
Yeah, Shaggy getting swaggy there, had the eyes on the back of the head of the defender, knew that it was a face mark, and put a very cheeky backhand up in for the score. Here's another look. Mark Zemro, there it is, with the defense nowhere in sight. Has that trust in Simonet and leads him with a beautiful upline backhand. Make it 6-4. The underdogs, even though they were the bronze medalists in this match last year.
Well, this to take half with a break of score for Hurt. Of course, they have those 3 breaks that they lead in this game. 1 for rundown, which does nullify a little bit. But they started on offense, so it'll be Hurt to start the second. Receiving. And a blustery day, but a lovely pull. Klitzinger with the stall counts rising high. Puts an expansive one out, requires the layout for Hurd, but happy to do it. Middlebrook pretty well covered there. The big form of Ryan Knoll stood directly behind him. There's going to be a discussion about the level of contact.
I mean, the contact was there. I don't know if there was a chance there. What I will say is I am really liking Hurt's pregame study here. The matchups they've got are working out for them. Launen putting a bit physical presence in front of Middlebrook, and the Watanabe Naunen. Watanabe now saying they haven't even finished the discussion. The disc was tapped in. Obviously, the Hurt player, Watanabe's teammate, was the one who tapped it in. And I says, all right, all right, all right.
Which is accurate in the rules. If the defensive player on the disc doesn't check in with their teammates before tapping the disc in, it's just kind of sorry. But you got to play on. Them's the rules. You can override if there's a discussion between the captains, but that is how the game is supposed to be played.
Pick called. Watanabe trying to keep up with Naunen there. Runs into some friendly fire because of the congestion in crossing.
Yeah, Naunen, a pretty big part of this rundown offense. Formerly Revolver, way back when. That's a lovely shot though. Middlebrook underneath it, just flops and redeems. Saves the day, but not the body. Pops back to Cashin. Can he pop one more in the bank for rundown and keep this first half alive? Is that through the legs?
I believe so.
Oh, I want to watch that one back and double check, because we know that there have been other opponents trying to goad Grant Cashin into throwing those fakes between the legs. And I think from the expression on Watanabe is that he did indeed throw it through the legs.
That's the old ultimate nutmeg.
Oh, foul call's going to bring it back.
Foul call on the through the legger. How's that happen? Where was the contact?
Downfield, off the disc. Off disc contact, so probably offensive foul. Little too much tussle in the end zone. These two teams really feeling each other out in a literal sense.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Great communication from Simonet, letting us know for you fans back home on watching this live stream. Cashin with the disc. Tapping us back in. So coming back in, stalling 3 or 0. Cashin with plenty of time, scoops it around the flying defender. Nothing more that you could have asked out of Daniel McConville, but cannot deny a goal scoring. And that is Daryl Nounan, who says now is the time to punch another in. That keeps this half alive, 6-5, but Hurt still 2 breaks ahead of Rundown.
Heck of a game we've got going on. Tensions flaring. You hear a lot of voices on the field. It's getting chippy. It's getting chippy. Great toe drag there by Middlebrook as we watch the replays. But these guys know each other well. They came in ready for this. As I said, I really like the way Hurt has set up their defensive assignments. The Watanabe-Nounan matchup, one for the ages. Those guys are just swinging back and forth. So I'm looking forward to see where this game keeps going, because right now this game is hot and heavy.
Well, the clouds are above us, keeping things cool physically, but yes, indeed, metaphorically, the temperature is rising, and it's too much for Barrel to hold on to. That one rises well high. Appleyard throws and goes. Stewart faking a scoop, faking around and selling the mark of Zimmerl a little bit. Appleyard available, big old poach off. Cashin grinding the underneath. Oh, big old layout coming out of 2, but doesn't quite manage to get the block. Pops through. Fraser. And a pit call, giving us a moment of pause.
Wow. Bids coming tight D. There is nothing between these two teams right now.
Well, the current thing that separates them is 2 breaks of score above for Hurt. Rundown trying to get one back to level us up. Cash in towards the end zone and collects and puts it in the safety deposit box. There is going to be a call potentially to bring that one back, but Cash in had snuck away miles free from Louisa Tui.
Yeah, hold on to your celebrations. A couple of these scores have come with attached fouls. Here's another one. The dump defense here was phenomenal. Everything around the disc, but when the upfield look came, here's another look too. I want to see where the contact comes from. I'm not sure if I saw it on the throw, maybe before within the pivots, but on the throw, none. And because the dump space was so well covered, the upfield was open enough. And
stall out, that must be the call. It must be a stall out that's been accepted, because I didn't see too much contact. I did see, Steph, a little bit of wrapping on the mark.
Yeah. I saw a bit of the same, and that's why there was some contact. But yeah, I think the stall out makes a lot more sense, and clearly that, as it went back to the place of the pivot as it turned over.
Well, contested goals. Zimmerl throwing down to 2. Firing these like cannons. Oh, that's so much room. Appleyard left in the dust, and it is a turn around, finishing off the half 7-5, and they will receive the disc to start on offense in the second stage of this game.
Rundown are going to need a monumental effort to claw back into this one. Hurt are looking good. They've got a decided advantage going on right now. It is the chippiness could slow this game down. We're pretty deep into this game time-wise, already 30 minutes in. Only 15 minutes remain before we get a time, 14 minutes, in fact, before we get a time horn and a +1 called. But, yeah, Hurt looking like they got them right where they want them.
Interestingly, so there's some sideline chatter that's made its way through our commentary headset, so loud enough for anyone to be hearing here on the sideline. Some of the players on Rundown a little bit unhappy because they did think that last goal was not valid. Someone saying they thought it might have been out of bounds. The timeout being called now by Hurt. So we'll request and see if the great box of power is possible to have another look at the last goal with this new fresh information from the sideline. So let's get another look at this, Steph. If you were listening, someone from the sideline said they thought it was out.
That was well in. So whatever the call was from the sideline was maybe had to do with a call from earlier on or a reception from earlier on in the point. But nonetheless, the goal stands. Tensions fly, tensions flare.
And a little bit of live chat love coming at us from Stephen G. We love you too, Stephen G. Stevie G. We've been trying our best out here. It's not too hard to be sat pitch side here in Sardinia.
I've had worse days in my life.
Have you had better? Here and there, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have a better day
tomorrow. In the
tomorrow.
grand scheme, I've had some wonderful days, but this does, you know, it's up in the higher percentile of days enjoyed.
So half taken in dominant fashion by Hurt. They do have to shoot against the breeze. But there's 2 breaks that they lead. Rundown started 2-0 advantage. They put in that hold to start the game, then chucked in a break. But the 4 unanswered. So this.
Yeah.
To Yearsley. Receiving that first fielding pass. Oh, but a miscommunication and an incredibly short field opportunity. Russ Furr picking up pretty quickly. And immediately a pick call.
Wow, that is a miscue, and that is exactly what Rundown needed to start this half.
So hustling into the stack, stall count starting to rise, flopping around the mark and flopping around after making the catch. Great grab there from Tina McDowell.
Russell Furr on that assist really worked hard throwing through a tight mark. And you see McDowell got all tangled up in the flailing defense that everybody went down like some timbering trees in the end.
Well, Russell Furr just going for the straight on full pivot flop. Did a great job. He'll come back on for defense again. You can see that he tried to come over and take a break, maybe get a swig from his water bottle, but no, he's required back. Beautiful overhead scenes here in Sardinia. Final game slot of the day. Quarterfinals. One of these North American sides will be knocked out of contention. The rematch of the 3-4 from last season.
One will be playing for 5.
One will be playing for 1. Zimmerall, that's first fielding pass. Simonet, oh, that would have been a push pass and a half. Just had enough gas on the high release backhand to reach Yearsley. Zimmerall, laser, thin and smooth to barrel. Oh, that is a great catch under hot pressure. Jeff Simonet striding through with a single hand catch.
Yeah, beautiful catch by Simonet to cash in the goal there, showing his athleticism, his ability to read that disc, sticking the hand through the defender there to make it count. Yearsley giving the head nod to get it to Zimmerall, and Shaggy, the lead throw.
Question for you, Steph. Do you think that final pass was break side or open side?
I would like to see it again to give you my final answer on that one, but I think the final pass would have ended up being on the open side.
Well, I'm going to secretly do some scrobbling of my own on YouTube Yeah, it was indeed. So just a blown coverage in the deep space there, allowing Hurt to punch one on the board. But Cashin throwing to absolutely nobody. It's okay, Grant, you got a lot of yards, but that's a golden opportunity. Well, we had the short field drop immediately out of Hurt that was converted for that first break in the second half. Now, let's see if Hurt can bring the pain against a long early turnover. It's almost like receiving the pull, isn't it?
Indeed it is. For a break, though.
Oh, but it has that feeling of, oh yes, the full stretch to go. This is normal business. And Hurt making quick work of it so far, already reaching half field. Fox. Foul elsewhere on the pitch. So a solid amount of poaching off of Alexei Papadimitriou. Middlebrook going for the layout, catching a little bit of the other Papadimitriou, Stanislas. Double Papadimitriou for your action. Hopefully he'll be okay. A little bit of a hobble as he comes off the pitch, but does so under his own steam, thankfully.
And Zemeral coming in as the substitution. Rundown, do not choose to reciprocate.
Well, that is a person you want to be having throw from static for Hurt. And this for the break. But that's a big old drop. Without his fellow Papadimitriou losing a bit of his magical powers. Oh, and that's a magical disc just hanging in the breeze for Grant Cashin. And it's going to be Clayton Hurd on the near side, clutching that goal and maintaining that chase down here. Hurt 8, Rundown 7. But they're running down the clock here. 5 minutes and change left, and Rundown need to grab themselves another break to level and a third to put us back on serve.
Yeah, 1 point down still. We all know that's going to take 2 breaks to surmount. And what they need to do is get their defense on the field, and that's what they've done by holding there.
But it's gotten quite scrappy. I mean, certainly a very physical game, probably one of the most physical games we've seen so far on our live stream pitch.
The most, I would say, with certainty.
Yeah, call and contact heavy, but that is what you end up having when you get to the meaningful games at the business end of the tournament. Championship bracket action, and that ball landing significantly out of bounds, which won't help the chances too much, but plenty of backing downfield. Defenders really cognizant of the throwing prowess of Yearsley and Zimmerl. So in from the brick. Joel Yearsley puts up a nice slinky smooth one. Toya and Baril. And the changing force there, some quirky defense being played. Immediately Jamie Cashin hitting the end zone space. Fur has 2 white shirts, streaking, throws through the middle, that narrowly misses Zimmerl. Just about clutches onto it. Joey Stewart, and in for the inside break, finding the number 15, Stephen Labonge, and that was très bon indeed. That will level us up, and Rundown celebrate emphatically, deservedly so, because they needed that.
Yeah, boy did they ever. The miscue between Zemeral and the intended receiver on that last play. I think it was Granith. Sorry, it was Louisa Tui. And that seemed to just go through the hands. It was a little bit high gust of wind, but boy, did Rundown take advantage of that golden opportunity ran it back the other way, and you see the energy levels changing now in white.
An interesting choice here from Hurt. You're seeing exactly the same 5 athletes coming out now. They're all with their hands on their knees, all their hips, with one exception, Johan Baril, who is only 50 years old, so a real youngster for this division. But an interesting choice, just having conceded the break, maybe having run quite hard to try and get it back.
Couple of snowmen on the board here, all tied up at 8.
And a pull across, so I think a bit of a power line as well for rundown. Grant Cashin normally only plays on offense, and that's a fabulous pull that goes all the way and rolls out the back. So will be brought to the front tape, but better than a brick, and an opportunity to pin and possibly force Hurt into Callahan County. But of course, they'll have something to say about that, will Hurt. Yearsley. Oh, and the hand block from Middlebrook.
Wow, ouch. Rundown are coming now. Rundown are bringing the heat. A hand block on the line, nearly Callahanable, as Hannah alluded to.
Grant Cashin checking his watch. What time is it? Is it break o'clock, mate? I don't know. Let's find out. Fakes it through the legs. Scuba into the space on the break side, and that will be Travis Fraser with the goal. Rundown are back in front, having started this game on offense, Steph, winning the toss and conceding 4 on the bounce. That is a run of 3 of their own.
What a series of events here. This is craziness going on. A pair of breaks in a row. The turnovers coming that we were not seeing anything of the sort earlier in the game. And Rundown bringing it.
I know you were looking at your laptop, Steph, because we're doing stats, we're doing commentary, we're doing a little bit of everything today, but that hand block by Middlebrook, I just want to spike my visor in the sand. That was really nice. We've been talking about some of the marking infractions that we've been spying, so just watching this game, but that was also good spacing, you know, not too close, not crazy active either, just reading them out very well. And a little bit of creativity from Cashin to pop that one back in the bank. So, the wind, we're getting in the live chat an update on the wind for you. It is gusty. There are moments where the wind completely drops almost. Maybe a bit of the weather getting involved, some lady luck favouring one side or the other. But the throws only seem stable because these athletes are so good at executing them.
The Sardinian voice on the speaker lets us know time is over. You also see that on our lovely clock. So finishes point +1. Yearsley brings it in.
Yeah, Ravi Vasudevan. We finally give him a rundown clock, but that cannot be run down by Ryan Knowles. Knowles has done such good work all game long, but pulled across to play this offensive point. This to apply the cap. Ross Fair gets a lot of contact from the mark.
A lot of contact from Yearsley. The slope is getting slippery. Hurt have felt a little bit of that slip, and they just keep slipping.
Well, Joel Yearsley of Kingston and Kingston Ultimate fame, the owner of that program, which runs local leagues and youth programs, currently looking to cause some pain here on the mark. Can he do a Middlebrook and get a hand block back? Appleyard faking the around. Back to Fur. Stewart with his head underneath it. Can he run it down? No, just sails a little bit too far over the head. Not enough of a shapely blade on that.
Okay, so the slope was slippery, but they're going to get another chance. Hurt need to cash this one in, or I'll say it, it's over. If Rundown go ahead another with all the momentum they got, I don't like their chances. Let's see if Hurt can pull it off.
I don't know, momentum's one thing, Steph, but they did go on a 4-point run in the first half. A big bump on the mark from Clayton Hurd's going to give us a stoppage and a stall count of 0 on an accepted foul on Simonet. Zimmerall dashing around in the sand. It's a double cut underneath, and Yearsley collects. Zips one, but Clayton Hurd underneath it and just tosses the disc into the ground rather than catching it. I don't like that move. I much prefer when people catch their Ds and play on. But if you're going to not catch a D, that's the way to do it. Have your body behind and slam it down.
Unmackable. And timeout called right away. Fur picks up the disc, calls the tee, and I'd say they got a lot to talk about in both huddles right now.
Indeed. Well, they will recalibrate and think about what comes next. You'll have to wait and find out, though, after this break. Will it be a game to 10 or 11? Find out.
My mom and I made a cookbook. Traditional recipes passed down through the generations.
They cater very well to modern kitchens.
Our recipes come from all over Italy, primarily from Le Marche and Sicily, where my parents come from. Two of the best culinary regions.
All the regions of Italy have their own signature food.
Buying this book will make you smarter and better looking.
Mannaggia Stefano, just promote the book.
Just search Mama's Italian Classics anywhere you can buy books online and get your hands on a copy.
The World Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2024. Whether on the sands or watching the action from your screen, WBUCC 2024 is a tournament not to be missed.
Questions being asked here on our quarterfinals action coverage in Sardinia, the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2023. Russell Furr with the disc, having called the timeout, and that's going to be a time over or a turnout depending on your jargon of choice. As he throws directly into the waiting hands of Jeff Simonet this time. Knowles underneath with no mistakes. Pops that one through to two. Leader down line, Zimmerl. Yearsley puts one into space for Simonet. He milks every last drop out of that throw, but did he connect with it? No.
Just too far in front. I thought it was there. The wind blowing right to left on your screen gave it just that little bit extra. And another squandered opportunity. Again, run down with a chance to separate by 2 here, making it a game to 11. Really will hurt.
Appleyard seeking an opportunity, just has to take the reset to Furt. And the negative yards, they are firmly in Callahan County. But surely, oh, nearly makes the escape, but just a bobble straight out of the hands of Russell Furr. A foul now being called. And look how far away Ryan Knowles has already shot off from matching up against Appleyard.
They continue to discuss the potential contact. They're showing a little bit of displaying their movements there, what happened, trying to sell perspective and what they experienced and felt through the contact. It is back in the hands of Rundown, and it's now back in play.
Appleyard finding Stewart. It's low, but it's okay. Pick will bring us another brief moment of pause. Appleyard puts up a blade. Oh, big attempt from Yearsley to try and snaffle the disc away from Russell Furr. Russ pops and goes. Clayton Hurd now. The two men of mystery, Fur and Hurd, neither choosing to give us any information on our player surveys. They just let their play speak for itself, and it's going to be Fur into the end zone. Philip Joey Stewart collecting the final goal potentially. Or is that just applying the cap? No, it is game to 11, rundown 10, Hurt 8. The captain putting that penultimate score potentially for rundown on the board.
Yeah, this is all happening now. A unbelievable turn of events here, seeing Hurt just coughing up a couple of turnovers that weren't expected. Yes, some incredible pressure been put on time and time again by rundown, feeling that pressure. And now the tides have turned, rundown up 10-8 with a game to 11. That means, quite simply, hold, break, break for Hurt, or it's rundown going through to the semis.
Well, it's been a fantastic game. Real swings of momentum here on the beach in Sardinia. Of course, rundown coming off the back of a USAU title. Well connected, but Hurt have really challenged them during the course of this game. They had that run of 4 points to take us from 3-2 in favour of rundown to 5-3 in favour of Hurt. Can they do some damage and bring some literal hurt, hopefully not physical, just emotional, against their former final matchup last year in Portimao. That time it was Hurt who took that bronze medal, and rundown had to settle for 4th. Well, Grant Cashin with the number 3 on his back, pops that one well deep, but did it hit the tape, Steph?
Not sure if it landed in and roll out or if it was directly out.
There's been no signal
very
for a break.
Close.
So fielding the pull, Daniel McConville, the captain of this Hurt team, hailing from Yarmouth, Maine, all the way to Sardinia. Finds Watanabe, then Simonet. This to keep the game alive. A couple more points. Foul.
Yeah, Nounan and Watanabe still at it.
Watanabe with a nice big backhand break. Baril. Johan going and going. Just ripping across the stand. Simonet now. Julie G is plenty available, but Hurt just playing through their male matching connections. Jeff Simonet with the disc, the Toronto Hall of Fame inductee. Little just shovel pass to connect with McConville. Now it's Julie G underneath. Beautiful pass straight into the path of Simonet. Thinks about the ripper backhand. Oh, with a push pass, that would be cheeky, but it's a pop over the top. Barriel underneath it. Julie G playing some action as well, just closing off the space. Cashin throwing himself around, but couldn't quite stop it. Johan Baril keeps the game alive. At least one more point. Are we going to get a universe point finish in quarterfinals? Now that would be something special, Steph.
It would indeed. It's going to take a break. The Hurt unit going to have to put on their best defensive unit. First things first, get that disc back. As you see again there, Simonet selling that for the push pass over the shoulder. Getting the defender turned around. This is going to come down to a whole lot of heart, a lot of deep digging on both sides. of course, to finish the game. We've talked about this time and time again. A lot of pressure to score that goal when you're one away. Game point, especially when it's so close, you feel it more. Every throw feels like there's more pressure. The more times you've been there, the better you are dealing with this. And to this end, these great grandmasters, they have been here time and time again. So they should be a bunch of cool cucumbers out there.
No,
But,
never.
yeah,
Have you been watching this game? There has been no cool cucumbering whatsoever. It's all been about gunning for every single pass. Lots of hot contesting of various bits of action. But it's going to be Krutzinger, center of the pitch, ideal position. Resets to Naunen. Sneaks through to Fur. Plenty of lateral room being exploited well here. Fur, very available. Opens up the space through, can redeem though from Clayton Hurd. Nearly bops it away, but Naunen there to collect. Stewart now scored that last point for Rundown. Hurd has Naunen in acres of space, goes up high. Watanabe not able to put too much pressure on. Switching between all the hands, and it's a lefty high release backhand that will send Rundown into semi-finals tomorrow. Hurt did some real work there, but it just wasn't enough to surmount the lead. Not only did they win the toss, but Rundown sneaking in that extra break after going up 2-0 to start. But what a match that was, Steph.
Yeah, what an incredible game. Hats off to Hurt for leaving it all on the field. The hero there, Clayton Hurd, I say, even though he wasn't part of the scoring end, that turnover was seemingly available, went over Nounen's head. It popped up and over Hurd. Johnny on the spot kept the possession alive and made that, well, the rest of it work. You saw Rundown run it all the way in, finding a way to put that final point on the board. 11-9, the final result. Rundown are going into the semifinals, and it is going to be a battle tomorrow. It's battles all day long. Rundown will be taking on Spangled. And this is going to be a match. What a great match we just had. We've got Ian Appleyard coming into the booth. Ian, how you doing?
Steph.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How you feeling, first of all, immediately off the heels of that tight game and final score to win?
Yeah, I don't think I breathed much in the last 5 minutes or so. Very tense game, very tight. Every inch mattered, and we, I feel, just battled it out. But so did they. They were super strong, few errors, and some grit just came through for us, and we got lucky.
4 in a row in the second frame there. You guys were down 8-7, went up to take it 10-8. That's where the game kind of turned your favor. The momentum shifted. Talk about some of the turnovers there. There's a couple short fields near Callahan, some hand blocks, but talk about the effort your team put forth to generate these turns and get this run of breaks going.
Steph, we train all year for this, and we get ourselves psyched up throughout the tournament for exactly these games. Here it is, game day 3, and it's our second game of the day, and we've been waiting eagerly for this moment, getting ourselves in the right mindset for just this kind of situation, and we're big on adrenaline at that point, but a key moment was our guy Jim Middlebrooks, Boots. So Boots, the story is he couldn't afford cleats, so he showed up in construction boots. And that's how he got his nickname.
That was it. One time in boots.
He could be in construction boots today in the sand and still do weight. But that hand block on the end zone was
he
amazing.
Looked like a bouncer checking out a fake ID, shutting the door on that one. He was not allowing anything in there, and a big credit to him. Your opponents came out pretty hot. Was that what you were expecting from Hurt in the opening quarters? Any surprises there, or a little bit gone to expectations?
They are a finely tuned team. They had some set plays again and again that got them huge yardage right out of the gate. And it's like we couldn't stop it. So I really appreciate their choreography. They know where each other is going, and that is kind of what we expected from them. We lost to them last year in Portugal, and they put the hurt on us then, and we just got a little bit better luck this time.
So tomorrow, you guys moving your way into the semifinals. We'll have a dance with the defending champs, renamed of course, but Spangled. Expectations for tomorrow's semifinal.
That Spangled team is loaded with talent. We know a lot of those individuals. We play with a lot of those individuals. Some have history going back 30 years of play at the highest levels. So I think it's going to be just a very exciting show. We're going to bring all that heart that we brought today and then a little more, because we are in the zone now.
We're very excited. We're here in the zone too, UltiTV. We're ready to give everything we've got for that game. We can't wait. Having you here on European soil, you guys are playing with a Eurodisc. Tell us about that. Any difference in the way that plays, that feels, or tell us anything about that.
It is pink. We usually play with pink discs in the snow, so it's a little strange. Yeah, not too much of a difference or a different feel. I think we're all pretty calibrated for it at this point.
Calibrated, feeling good.
Yep.
Excellent. We're going to let you back off the spirit circles going on there. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on the victory. Looking forward to seeing you and the Rundown squad tomorrow, and best of luck for that.
Steph, thank you for all your fine work and efforts. Your color, your play-by-play is unparalleled and fascinating.
Happy to take the compliment. Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
And again, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Celebrate the quarterfinal victory.
Thank you.
There we have it, Mr. Appleyard in the booth. Huge victory, come from behind. Overhurt, a great display there by Rundown. Hannah, that was a game for the ages here on the Sardinian beaches. Can't really top that one, but I have a feeling we may just.
Oh, absolutely. It's only going to get more exciting from here, Steph. As you say, Spangled Rundown will be one side of the bracket in semi-finals, and Notsuo will be playing against who? Do we know the result yet?
We've got the Bula Presidential Suite just next to us here. The Rainbow Warriors have gone up and taken it away from their Nordic rivals.
Indeed, Team Finland. So there will be no Team Finland maybe on the live stream, but we covered them quite a lot of times for all of our patrons that are Finnish fans. And welcome to all of our new Finnish patrons. Are you one of our 515 patrons?
If not, now's the time.
No better time than now. But thank you so much for being with us here on the beach today. It has been a real pleasure to bring you this matchup between Rundown and Hurt, as well as all of the other teams we have covered this fine Friday. But tomorrow, set your alarms, whichever time zone you are tuning in from. Finals day will be upon us. Semis moving into the championship, determining both. But it's been a pleasure to be here in Sardinia at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Championships 2023. We will see you folks tomorrow. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.